Days. Stace. What? What? Leather jacket. There's a problem out here. You better bail. Where are you? Here. What the hell are you? I'm Batman. Let's go. Thanks.
What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberlad? Coming back to you with another film review. And, I knew at some point I was going to do this. It was just a matter of when. Batman Begins. So, before we get into this, I'm gonna go over a couple things and kind of, for those watching, give you a little backstory of how this even came to be. Because some people think it just happened, but that's not the case. So, year is 1997, and Batman and Robin came out. Well, actually, let me run that back. What originally had happened was Batman and Robin was being worked on and was pretty much done. And then there was also an animated film called Batman Sub-Zero. And both of them had Mr. Freeze as the main villain. However, apparently word on the street was that Batman Sub-Zero was supposed to come out first. And instead, they figured that Batman and Robin would draw more of a crowd than Batman Sub-Zero. And Batman and Robin got released. And Batman Sub-Zero never made it to the theater. It ended up being released just on VHS. The last animated Batman film that did go in theaters was Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which I will one day, at some point, do a review on as well. Batman and Robin comes out, and it was a disaster. At first, I liked the film, and I'll get into a review about that at some point. But as I watched it, a second time around, it was a bad film. So bad that Warner Brothers cut the cord on making any more Batman films. Because I remember I used to do a lot of research about movies coming out and what they're going to be and this and that. And originally, the fifth film was supposed to be Batman Triumphant, and there's been another title that was being thrown around. And it was going to be about Batman being reprised by George Clooney, and he's dealing with the villain, the Scarecrow. And Harley Quinn was going to be the second villain, and she was going to be the Joker's daughter. And apparently Jack Nicholson was supposed to come back in a cameo as the Joker in a dream sequence from when the Scarecrow does some damage to Bruce. And Scarecrow, from what I do recall, Jeff Goldblum was on the table to be Scarecrow, and Batgirl was going to be, again, with Alicia Silverstone. But Dick this time was no longer going to be Robin. He was going to transition into being Nightwing in this film and no longer running with Bruce anymore like that. It was time for him to do his own thing. And I remember being really excited about it, even though Batman and Robin, I didn't understand, because I think it was 8th grade. I didn't fully grasp, because, back then it wasn't so easy to get the numbers of how much movies made. There wasn't YouTube. You kind of really had to dig, and studios are not just going to give that to you. So that information was a lot more difficult to come by, and it took a while for it to appear. Whereas now the stuff is like came yesterday kind of thing. But the ramifications of Batman and Robin doing so poorly critically and financially just shut everything down. And up until X-Men, which came out, I believe, about 2000, there was no intention of making any more comic book superhero films for a while. Batman and Robin was just an awful, awful film, and I'll get into that on that review. But the point is, nobody was willing to make another Batman film anytime soon. It did so terrible that it hurt Chris O'Donnell's career, Alicia Silverstone's career. George Clooney was able to bounce back, but to this day, George even says that he always keeps a picture of himself as Batman to humble himself about how far things can go south and never get too big-headed. At least that's what he said. It didn't hurt Uma, I don't think. Oh, and by the way, Uma was, God, she was gorgeous in that. Man, Uma Thurman. But point is, it didn't hurt Arnold too much or Uma, but it was a big deal, and that was it for Batman for a long time. And then all of a sudden, I'm in college, and I see this trailer, and it is Christian Bale, but I was like, what the hell is this? It doesn't even give the idea that it's a Batman film. And at first I watched the trailer, I really wasn't impressed. I was just annoyed because I'm just like, great, here we go again, starting over, a whole another Batman film, and gonna do the same old shit you did with the original, where you focus on the villain. Because by this point, I did a lot more research with the first 4 films and realizing why they had a lot of flaws, even though the first 2 were really good, but they had some serious flaws in what they were. So I was like, they're just gonna do the same fucking thing. They're going to focus on the villains and build up the villains, and Batman just is there. There's no backstory. Well, that wasn't the case. This film, we don't see Bruce's Batman for at least a third of the film through. It's about him, his childhood, his psychological trauma, his transition into an adult, his training, and even still during all this time, he's still not Batman at all. He doesn't even have that yet. And then we also see his relationship with Alfred more in depth, his relationship with the city, Bruce's relationship, the city itself, the interactions of the people, the police. I mean, everything from top to bottom. And this is more of a crime noir film / action. There is no, there are no super villains, or there is no rogues gallery really yet. You know, it's just, there's no Batman. There's nothing like what, you know, happens later down the road. And it's very in-depth, very detailed, I have to say. And I was very impressed after I saw the first film. I was very, very impressed. I like what I saw. Nolan took some liberties, but for the most part, he really stuck to enough information to make the film work, to make the story work with, you know, Batman Begins, Bruce starting, beginning to be Batman. So that was good. The rating for this film, I give a 9 out of 10 yes sirs. The only thing that I was like, I think the weakest thing was Rachel Dawes. I don't think they should have made up a character. I think they should have pulled a character from the comics. I didn't agree with that. She was very forgettable. I understand what they were trying to do when they also bring her into the Dark Knight and things about her in the Dark Knight Rises, but overall she was just a weak character. I think they should have pulled a female from the comics and had her intertwined with the movies. And if they wanted to remove her at some point, fine. But Rachel was just like, whatever. It didn't work for me. But I do like that each film has the whole point of this, of what Nolan was trying to convey to the audience is about a symbol. That was the whole point. It wasn't about anything but that, and you gradually get to understand that as these films come out, when they did. Yeah. So this is a little bittersweet in a way, because the things that ended up happening with Batman Begins, Michael Keaton complained about. Kid you not. Originally, the third Batman, Michael Keaton had addressed some serious issues with the first two Batman films, where he felt like you guys are spending too much time on the villains, and you're calling it Batman, and you're not focusing on Batman. You're only showing his knowledge, but you're not showing how he became these things. When are we going to focus on that? That's important. Which Michael Keaton was absolutely correct. And it's just bittersweet because we got that now, but how many years did it take? And I mean, Christian Bale was great. However, it would have been nice if Mike had got a chance for these things to happen, you know? That was an issue. And then, you know, Bruce's parents being killed by Joe Chill was correct. Bruce's parents being killed with Burton's storyline was incorrect. And those little things make a huge difference in the overall scheme of things for the film. Music was cool. I do like Hans Zimmer. I like his music overall, and James Newton Howard as well. The music I enjoyed thoroughly. Action was great. It was very detailed. Liked that. The artwork, the watercolors, the way the city overall looked, they did a very good job with that too, because that is Gotham. And Cillian Murphy, even though he wasn't in the film as much as I would have liked him to be, I thought he did a hell of a job. He was great. And everybody was, I mean, again, I don't take away from Katie, I forget her last name, but the woman who played Rachel Dawes. It's just I don't feel the actress was the problem. I just felt the character should have been an actual comic character instead. So with that being said, if you've never seen Batman Begins, or you've only seen the original Batman or '89, or you saw recently The Batman, they all have a different side to them for Batman. So you not seeing this, I'm not going to say you're missing out, but it would be a good idea to see how this one was done. And watch all three films to get the full understanding of what was the point. That's one way of how I would put it. I don't think you'd be disappointed either, because for the most part, as long as Batman is gritty and sticks to the source material, you really can't go wrong. So, anyway, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.